हेलो एवरीवन, गुड मॉर्निंग एंड वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज हम पढ़ेंगे चैप्टर 6 एनाटॉमी ऑफ फ्लावरिंग प्लांट्स, बायोलॉजी क्लास 11th। और इसमें हम पढ़ेंगे द टिश्यू सिस्टम, एनाटॉमी ऑफ डाइकोटिलेडोन्स एंड मोनोकोटिलेडोन प्लांट्स। सो शुरू करते हैं। यू कैन वेरी इजली सी द स्ट्रक्चर सिमिलैरिटीज एंड वेरिएशन इन द एक्सटर्नल मॉर्फोलॉजी of the larger living organism, both plants and animals. Similarly, if we were to study the internal structure, one also finds similar similarities as well as differences. This chapter introduces you the internal structure and functional organization of higher plants. Study of internal structure is called anatomy. Plants have cells as basic unit. Cells are organized into tissues, and in turn the tissues are organized into organs. Different organs in a plant show differences in their internal structure. Within angiosperms, the monocots and dicots are also seen to be anatomically different. Internal structure also show adaptation to diverse environment. The tissue. We are discussing about types of tissues based on the types of cells present. Let us now consider how tissues vary depending on their location in the plant body. The structure and their structure and function would also be dependent on location. On the basis of the structure and location, there are three different types of tissue system. These are epidermal tissue, the ground or fundamental tissue system, and the vascular or conducting tissue system. The epidermal tissue system. इसको हम हाईलाइट कर लेते हैं। 3 टाइप्स के होते हैं, ठीक है। कौन कौन सी? एपिडर्मल, ग्राउंड or fundamental tissue, and vascular or conducting tissue. Epidermal tissue system forms the outermost covering of the whole plant body and comprises epidermal cells, stomata, and the epidermal appendages, the trichomes and the hair. The epidermis is the outermost layer of the primary plant body. It is made up of elongated, compactly arranged cells which form a continuous layer. Epidermis is usually single-layered. Epidermal cells are pericymatous with a small amount of cytoplasm lining the cell wall and a large vacuole. The outside of the epidermis is often covered with a waxy thick layer called cuticle, which prevents the loss of water. Cuticle is absent in roots. Stomata are structures present in the epidermis of leaves. Stomata regulate the process of transpiration and gaseous exchange. Each stoma is composed of 2 bean-shaped cells known as guard cells, which enclose stomatal pore. In grasses, the guard cells are dumbbell-shaped. The outer walls of guard cells away from the stomatal pore are thin, and the inner walls towards the stomatal pore are highly thickened. The guard cell possess chloroplasts and regulate the opening and closing of stomata. Sometimes a few epidermal cells in the vicinity of the ground cells become specialized in their shape and size and are known as subsidiary cells. The stomatal aperture, guard cells, and the structure surrounding subsidiary cells are together called stomatal apparatus. So, what is stomatal apparatus? Stomatal aperture, guard cell और जो surrounding subsidiary cells होती हैं, as you can see in the diagram, stomata with bean shaped guard cells, stomata with dumbbell shaped guard cells. Okay, epidermal cells, subsidiary cells, chloroplast, guard cells, stomatal pore. The layer of epidermis bear a number of hairs. The root hairs are unicellular elongation of the epidermal cells and help absorb water and minerals from the soil. On the stem, the epidermal hair are called trichomes. Trichomes in the shoot system are usually multicellular. They may be branch, unbranched, and stiff or stop. They may even be secretory. The trichomes help in preventing water loss due to transpiration. The ground tissue system. All tissues except epidermis and vascular bundle constitute the ground tissue. All tissues except किसके epidermis and vascular bundle ground tissue कहलाते हैं. पहले हम डायग्राम देख लेते हैं. Okay, there is no diagram of it. It consists of simple tissues as a parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Parenchymatous cells are usually present in cortex, pericycle, pith, and medullary rays in the primary stems and roots. In leaves, the ground tissue consists of thin-walled chloroplasts containing cells and is called mesophyll. The vascular tissue system, xylem, phloem. The vascular system consists of complex tissue, the xylem and phloem. The xylem and phloem together considered vascular bundles. In dicotyledonous stems, cambium is present between phloem and xylem. Such vascular bundle, because of the presence of cambium, possess the ability to form secondary xylem phloem tissues and hence are called open vascular bundles. In the monocots, the vascular bundles have no cambium present in them, hence they do not form secondary tissues. They are referred to as closed. When xylem and phloem within a vascular bundle are arranged in an alternate manner along the different radii, the arrangement is called radial, such as in roots. In conjoint type of vascular bundles, the xylem and phloem are jointly situated along the same radius of vascular bundles. Such vascular bundles are common in stems and leaves. The conjoint vascular bundle usually have the phloem located only on the outer side of xylem. Phloem, cambium, xylem. Anatomy of dicotyledons and monocotyledonous plants. ये वेरियस टाइप ऑफ vascular bundle है. रेडियल, conjoint close, conjoint open. ओके, सो दिस इज ओपन. कैम्बियम है और इसमें कैम्बियम नहीं है और ये रेडियल है. एनाटॉमी अगर देखें हम पहले डाइकोटिलेडोनस रूट की देखते हैं. इट लेट लुक एट फिगर 6.3a. दिस फिगर. यहाँ रूट हेयर है, एपिडर्मिस है, कॉर्टेक्स है, एंडोडर्मिस है, पेरिसाइकल है, प्रोटोजाइलम है, मेटाजाइलम, पिथ एंड फ्लोएम. The outermost layer is epiblema. Many of the cells of epiblema protrude in the form of unicellular root hairs. The cortex consists of several layers of thin-walled parenchyma cells with intracellular spaces. The outermost layer of the cortex is called endodermis. It comprises a single layer of barrel-shaped cells without any intracellular spaces. The tangential as well as radius wall of the endodermal cells have a deposition of water-impermeable waxy material suberin in the form of Casparin strips. Next to endodermis lies a few layers of thick-walled parenchymatous cells referred to as pericycle. Initiation of lateral roots and vascular cambium during the secondary growth take place in this cell. कौन से सेल में? पेरीसाइकिल में. तो जो वस्कुलर बैंडन का इनिशिएशन होता है सेकेंडरी ग्रोथ यहाँ शुरू होता है. द पिथ स्मॉल और इनकॉन्स्पिशियस. जैसे पिथ आप देख सकते हैं छोटी सी होती है. पेरेन्काइमेटस सेल्स विच लाई बिटवीन द xylem and phloem आर कॉल्ड conjunctive tissues. These are usually 2 to 4 xylem and phloem patches. Later, a cambium ring develops between xylem and phloem. All tissues on the inner side of the endodermis, such as pericycle, vascular bundle, and pith, constitute the stele. So, what is stele? जो अंदर की तरफ होते हैं आफ्टर फॉर्मेशन ऑफ कैम्बियम रिंग. अब हम मोनोकॉट रूट के बारे में पढ़ते हैं. उसका स्ट्रक्चर. रूट हेयर, एपिडर्मिस, कॉर्टेक्स है, एंडोडर्मिस, पेरिसाइकल है, फ्लोएम है, प्रोटोजाइलम है, पिथ है, मेटाजाइलम है. ओके. द एनाटॉमी ऑफ मोनोकॉट रूट इज सिमिलर टू डाइकॉट in many respects. It has epidermis, cortex, endodermis, pericycle, vascular bundle, pith. as compared to the dicot root which have fewer xylem bundle. There are usually more than 6 poly or xylem bundles in the monocot root. तो xylem ज़्यादा होता है monocot में. Pith is large and well developed. Monocotyledonous roots do not undergo any secondary growth. Secondary growth में नहीं होती. अब डाइकोटस हमने ये रूट का पढ़ा है, हम स्टेम का पढ़ते हैं. पहले डायग्राम देख लेते हैं. डाइकोट, मोनोकोट. एपिडर्मल हेयर, एपिडर्मिस, हाइपोडर्मिस, पेरेन्काइमा, एंडोडर्मिस, पेरिसाइकल, vascular bundle, medullary rays. Okay, and this pith is very large. Second है collenchyma, parenchyma, endodermis, pericycle, cambium, metacycle. This is the transverse section of a typical young dicotyledonous stem shows the epidermis is the outermost protective layer of the stem. Epidermis होता है, ठीक है. Sorry. Covered with a thin layer of cuticle, it may be a trichomes and few stomata. The cells arranged in multiple layers between epidermis and pericycle constitute the cortex. It consists of 3 subzones. The outer hypodermis consists of few layers of collenchyma cells just below the epidermis which provide mechanical strength to the young stem. Cortical layers between hypodermis consist of rounded thin-walled parenchymatous cells with conspicuous intracellular spaces. The innermost layer of the cortex is called endodermis. The cells of the endodermis are rich in starch grains, and the layer is also referred to as a starch sheath. Pericycle is present on the inner wall of the endodermis and above the phloem in the form of semilunar patches of Sclerenchyma. In between the vascular bundles, there are few layers of radially placed parenchymatous cells which constitute medullary rays. A large number of vascular bundles are arranged in a ring. The ring arrangement of vascular bundle is a characteristic of dicot stem. Each vascular bundle is conjoined, open, and enlarged with xylem. A large number of rounded parenchymatous cells with large intercellular spaces which occupy the central portion of the stem constitute the pith. Monocotyledon stem. The monocot stem has a sclerenchymatous hypodermis, a large number of scattered vascular bundles, each surrounded by a sclerenchymatous bundle sheath and a large conspicuous parenchymatous ground tissue. Vascular bundles are conjoined and closed. Peripheral vascular bundles are generally smaller than the centrally located ones. The phloem parenchyma is absent and water containing cavities are present within the vascular bundles. जैसे आप देख सकते हैं डायग्राम में डाइकोट और मोनोकोट का एपिडर्मिस हाइपोडर्मिस से vascular bundle है, ग्राउंड टिश्यू, पिथ absent है. The monocot stem has a sclerenchymatous hypodermis, a large number of scattered vascular bundles, each surrounded by sclerenchymatous bundle sheath, and large conspicuous parenchymatous ground tissue. Vascular bundle conjoined or closed होता है. Peripheral vascular bundle generally smaller than the central located ones. Phloem parenchyma absent होता है, and the water containing cavities are present within the vascular bundles. So, monocot stem में phloem parenchyma is absent. This is important. किस में absent होता है? phloem parenchyma stem में monocot. Dorsiventral dicotyledonous leaf. अब लीफ का स्ट्रक्चर देख लेते हैं. डाइकोट और मोनोकोट. बंडल शीथ है, जाइलम है, फ्लोएम है, एडेक्शियल एपिडर्मिस है, पैलिसेड मेसोफिल है, एयर कैविटी है बिकॉज लीव्स है, स्पॉन्जी मेसोफिल है, सबस्टोमेटल कैविटी है, स्टोमा है क्योंकि लीफ है, एबैक्शियल एपिडर्मिस, इसमें भी एडेक्शियल एपिडर्मिस है, जाइलम है, मेसोफिल है, सबस्टोमेटल कैविटी है, एबैक्शियल epidermis, stoma, phloem. The vertical section of a dorsiventral leaf through the lamina shows three main parts, namely epidermis, mesophil, and vascular system. The epidermis, which covers both the upper surface adaxial epidermis and the lower surface abaxial epidermis of the leaf, has a conspicuous cuticle. The abaxial epidermis generally bears more stomata than the adaxial. तो abaxial के पास ज़्यादा stomata होते हैं. The later may even lack stomata. The tissue between the upper and the lower epidermis is called the mesophil. जो टिश्यू मेसोफिल क्या होती है, जो अपर और लोअर एपिडर्मिस के बीच प्रेजेंट होती है. It consists or possesses chloroplast and carry out photosynthesis, is made up of parenchyma. Mesophil के पास ही chloroplast होता है, so it's very important layer. इसके दो टाइप के सेल्स होते हैं, the palisade parenchyma and the spongy parenchyma. The adaxial placed palisade parenchyma is made up of elongated cells which are arranged vertically parallel to each other. The oval or round and loosely arranged spongy parenchyma is situated below the palisade cells and extends to the lower epidermis. There are numerous large spaces and air cavities between these cells. Vascular system include vascular bundles which can be seen in the veins and midrib. The size of the vascular bundles are dependent on the size of the veins, and the veins vary in thickness and the reticulate venation of the dicot leaves. The vascular bundles are surrounded by a layer of thick-walled bundle sheath cells. Isobilateral monocotyledonous leaf. In the anatomy of isobilateral leaf is similar to that of dorsoventral leaf in many ways. It shows the following characteristic difference. In an isobilateral leaf, the stomata present on both the surface of the epidermis and the mesophil is not differentiated in the palisade and spongy parenchyma. So iso मतलब उसमें दोनों सरफेस पे प्रेजेंट होते हैं स्टोमेटा, और मेसोफिल डिफरेंशिएट नहीं होती पैलिसेड एंड स्पॉन्जी में. इन ग्रासेस सर्टन adaxial epidermis cells along the veins modify themselves large empty colorless cells. These are called bulliform cells. When the bulliform cells and leaves absorb water and are turgid, the leaf surface is exposed. When they are flaccid due to water stress, they make the leaves curl inwards to minimize water loss. The pallor venation in monocot leaves are reflected in the near similar size of vascular bundles except in main veins as seen in vertical section of the leaves. So this is for now. This is a summary. Do read it, attempt the questions, and you have any doubt, do let me know. Reach out to me. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and share and subscribe so that I can make more such content.